do we talk about RRP? Do we not? Are golf clubs too expensive? Are we out of the loop because we don't have to pay for this stuff? I think nail on the head there of the world of capitalism and the world of buying things. Do you have the money? Do you want it? That's the question.
I fancy a nice new fancy driver that's shiny and nice and looks great and makes
It'll
me
make
feel
me
good.
feel good.
Cool.
Sometimes you buy things just to feel something in this god-awful world.
It's been a long day.
Hello and welcome back to the episode of Kickpoint, the Golf Gear Show. Thank you for joining us, as always, for an hour or more of equipment chat. Happy Friday. TGIF, Joe.
Yes.
It's F now for us as well. It's
It is
Friday
F. It's
right
F
now.
right now. Yeah, we're filming on a Friday, which is unusual for us. We're usually early week filmers, but
Yeah, just
here we are.
if you're interested. You come in your cardigan today, which we love.
Oh,
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Why do you always bring up my cardigan?
Because I like it so much.
It doesn't feel like it.
Maybe. I don't know.
Doesn't feel like it. Yeah, I'm all right. I've got a couple of weeks off. The second we stop talking today, I'm off for a fortnight. So if you could just, talking of Fs, shut the F up.
Get the F on with it?
Or get the F on with it. Yes, we are laughing. That I don't mean that. I love this. We're going to have a good chat. We've got lots to get stuck into.
Yeah, well, we got
which
loads.
I'm learning about
You're
now.
learning about now. You've got your new sworn enemy I want to talk about.
Right.
Loads of your comments and Ask the Pods, which, as we say, thank you very much, because it makes our jobs really easy to fill a load of content, because you guys are coming up with the bleeding questions. And we're going to take a little look at Rory's 2026, what's in the bag. I think we're at a time of the year now which, after you doing your research and a little bit of chopping and changing at the start of the year, / end of 2025, we reckon he's settled now, and we need a little update on it because there have been some changes, which is great, Joe, isn't it?
Si, senor.
Si, senor. But firstly, Joe, it's time to welcome a brand new sponsor onto the show. They're flying it now, aren't they, Joe? Eh?
Well, they've seen the light, haven't they? They've seen what we bring to this game. They've seen the influence of me and you on my coattail.
oh, wow. Yeah, it's right, and I'm fine with that.
That's
Joe's
not
got more followers than me. And he's very excited about that.
Just going up at a rate. I just baffled by it, but enjoyed it.
We'd like to welcome Stromberg.
We finished talking about me, have we?
Yes, unfortunately, mate. Let's talk about the sponsor and the new LaunchPad Pro, which is available for March the 2nd. I can't remember this. I know when this comes out. March the 6th. It's available now.
It's been available for 4 days. What are you waiting for?
At all good American Golf stores, my old stomping grounds, American Golf. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the LaunchPad Pro, Joe. It is a performance-based golf shoe. So it's for those out there looking to extract the absolute most from their game with help of their shoes. Now, I don't know if I know you're not into this, i.e. shoes. You like wearing your Stan Smiths, you like the casual, and that's fine. And these shoes have a place in the game, Joe. But do you even think about shoes as a performance piece of equipment, Joe?
I've started to a little bit more. The more I learn about ground forces and the importance of interacting with the ground and stability and stuff, I'm coming round to it. So sell me more, please, Daniel.
Well, golfers can gain with the LaunchPad Pro up to 10 yards more distance. That is from a test that I watched occur live.
Okay.
So there's no jiggery pokery here. It was up against a what do they call it? Like a sample shoe.
A sandal.
no, it was against.
I thought you said sandal, not sample.
Sorry, a sample shoe.
Yeah.
Which was a sort of one of these like casual spikeless shoes that we've seen come into the game. And if you're aware of these, it's perhaps a point of note to think about, are you getting the most from your equipment? And shoes are equipment, Joe. So the LaunchPad Pro has directional swing dams to deliver maximum grip for powerful loading and explosive ball strikes. Medial roll lugs and camber ensure smooth, natural movement through the swing. Power sole channel, Joe, which enhance flex and energy transfer. Aggressive uphill, downhill lugs to provide confidence on any terrain. And a stability heel clip and carbon shank lock-in support at peak impact. Basically, Joe.
What's a lug?
Like a part of the outsole.
Good.
That's different shaped lugs as well are important.
Okay, makes
what
sense.
they're getting at, Joe, is this thing's packed with tech to help you play as well as you can. It's not going to. You can hit it further. That's what the test says. Versus a less performance-based shoe, you still got to put the ball to the club in the right way, right? And Joe, price point, which I can't remember off the top of my head, and I didn't get told by Stromberg, but I know it's a lot lower, a lot more competitive than some of the bigger brands. So if you're after a performance shoe for a much more stomachable price, Joe, the LaunchPad Pro is now available at all good American golf stores.
I like the Stromberg logo as well.
Do you?
I like the font they use. Really nice. Got a little, like a leggy R, a little curly R.
A little leggy R,
it's
is
nice. A leggy R. I love a leggy R.
Love a leggy. You've always said that. So thank you to Stromberg and the LaunchPad Pro for supporting this week's episode. And we've got more from Stromberg to come. And some other American golf brands later in the year.
You just said Strongbow. It's not the
No, I
cider
didn't.
company.
Stromberg. Did I say Stromberg?
I think you said
Did I
Strong.
actually?
At the end, I think you did.
It's definitely not Strongbow.
No.
It's Stromberg. So thank you to them. Right, Joe, let's get cracking with this week's episode. Where do I want to start? I'm going to spring this one on you.
Just went full Mr. Burns then with your little fingers, didn't you?
Yes.
Yes, Smithers.
Are you my Smithers?
I certainly hope not.
I was watching an episode recently.
Why did I say that?
It's so
my holiday
good.
starts. Why am I setting you off on tangents?
Odyssey have got their new line of putters out, AI Jewel and some other bits. Anyway, they've got a half ball alignment now. And I looked at that and went, And I've not formed my opinion on it yet. And I'd like to form my opinion based on your opinions, Joe. Is it a fad that Odyssey just sort of gone, okay, we've done 2, we've done 3.
Half?
Half? Have they done 1 before? The one ball, the one ball, the Lance Armstrong.
Let's have a
They
little
must have
look.
done a 1 ball.
I'm sure there has been like a little prototype Odyssey 1 ball putter.
Because anyway, the half ball is as it says on the tin.
oh,
It's
they've done a
half
1
ball.
down. We're gonna. Tommy was in the 1.
Of course he was.
Look at that.
Yeah, I like it. It's cute.
Put a little picture up of that because
Okay.
that's good.
For those listening, imagine a 2 ball with one of its balls off, basically. What do we think of half?
Confused.
Is it just another option or what?
Confused thus far. Not had my hands on. I'd love to hear, because Odyssey very rarely do anything without a good read. They are the number 1 putter brand in golf. They're the most used putter, and they very rarely do anything without a particularly good reason. The reason I'm not dismissing it, but if you just came at me dry with that, Dan, I'd have been like, I don't get it. I'd have been going down the route of you going, well, they've done 2, they've done 3. Right, should we try half?
Yeah.
Like, that's where I'd go. But Justin Rose, albeit not Odyssey, he's in his Scotty Cameron and has just set a scoring record at Torrey Pines, I think, at the Farmers, putting the absolute lights out. He's got a half ball alignment aid on his Scotty Cameron, whatever that is.
Without it being shaded in, it's got the
It's got another line across
perpendicular
it.
line
You
and
got
then the arc.
Yeah.
It's an inch.
So I'm not sure where, I'm not sure optically and scientifically how that could help me align the ball better. I wonder whether it's more of a centering aid to help you absolutely center it on the face. Don't know, would like to get hands on to see it, but interesting that Odyssey have gone down that route and that at very similar times of this sort of coming out, Rose has chalked up a win with that sort of alignment technology straight away.
I've got 2 things on Rose's putter, which we may have covered in Tour Issue. I don't know yet because we've not filmed them, but I'm going to do it now anyway. Jonathan Wall on Twitter, who works for Golf Digest now. What?
I was doing a spit thing.
Jonathan Wall.
Well, because their competition.
Oh, I like our competition.
Okay, good.
It makes us be better.
Yes.
In a story that almost...
As we borrow their content.
I'm using another man's reporting. It's not that mental.
Sure.
In a story that almost doesn't sound real, Justin Rose lost his trusty Scotty Cameron Phantom T5 mallet during the off-season after a playing partner ran over it with a cart, snapping the spud. And I think that was on... He has like a big...
Do you know what the spud is?
No.
So the spud is on a shaft.
The entry?
Yeah, so basically, like in a lab putter, there'll be a hole drilled out where the shaft slots in and glues in. On a Scotty Cameron here, if you look at the neck of this Justin Rose putt here, that doesn't go in. You see that little piece there?
Yeah.
There's a little sticky up piece that comes out the putter, which goes into the shaft rather than the shaft getting into the putter. That's the spud.
That's your spud. So that broke. And I think that was on... He has this trip that he does with his mates once a year that Matt Dawson off of Rugby goes on.
Must be nice to have mates.
And it's it's like 12 lads and they go play these great courses that Rose all pays for. And like he's off plus 12 and the highest handicapper's off, 12 or 15. And they do like a Ryder Cup style thing. I might try and find the picture of the one this year because they all look like the exact same bloke. It's the same bloke, copy and pasted.
Just Control-C, Control-V.
But it might have been from that trip. Anyway, as Jonathan Wall writes here, the putter that gave the US fits during the Ryder Cup was gone. Rose's feel is almost unmatched. There was some concern that even an identical build wouldn't produce the same results on the greens. Fortunately, the Cameron team had a secret weapon, meticulous notes, Joe, which is an important part of a club build, I guess, to come back and do this. So Rosie got it back after a bunch of testing.
I'm surprised. They must have done a real number on that putter for it not to be, because Scotty Cameron would have been able to weld on a new spud and
Must have been really effed up.
just really shaft it. Yeah.
The most difficult task was recreating the one-off half-moon alignment aid on the top line, which you spoke about. The lines are all done by hand on a milling machine by an employee at the studio.
That sentence doesn't make sense to me. By hand on a milling machine.
Yeah, right? Someone's got to touch it, right? Haven't they hold it?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm asking you.
Hand-milled, maybe
I'm just reading what Jonathan said.
Fine. Well, this is the danger of borrowing other people's work.
Safe to say the new game is just as good as the old game. One more on Justin Rose.
Go on.
That little arm shirt tuck thing he does. Illegal?
Not illegal.
Yet.
Frowned upon.
Cheeky.
It's cheeky.
Because it anchors his arm, right?
So
onto his body because he knows when it's not moving.
It's not just Rose. Lots of people have done this.
Really?
I did
His
it
is
for a
just quite
time,
obvious.
actually. Yeah. Like, you can't put a glove under there, for example, to feel connection. But why can you grab a piece of another part of your clothing and do that?
Wearing really baggy t-shirts.
It's not cheating.
It all under there.
It's perfectly within the rules as they stand. But
Should they be looked
it's something I've heard a few people say that should be looked at, because like currently I'm trying to keep my right arm tucked in. So what I do in my little shed in North Devon, I'll fold that and I'll try and make sure that if my right arm comes away, my t-shirt pops out. So I use that as a kind of training aid. I'm not saying it's immoral. I would just feel funny doing that in competition.
Impossible to police? How do you know what if someone just has a baggy shirt with a bit of material under there? Like, who's going to be walking around checking that? But I guess golf is one of the few
self-policing.
And Ultimate Frisbee is a self-policing game. They don't have referees in that. We are the ultimate self-policers, so would people self-police? I don't know. It's just something I've been thinking about.
He's been at that for a long time, and that tells you a lot you need to know about Rose. He does like a tinker with his equipment, changes a lot of stuff in and out here and there, but a lot of the same drills, he's been doing that kind of deep drop-down rehearsal drill for best part of a decade, maybe. He's been tucking that shirt under there, so staying consistent with his feels and things he's working on it's led to this remarkable sort of mid-early 40s renaissance period.
Loving it. More tour putter chat, Joe. I think we found your mortal enemy in Cashmere Keith.
Go on.
We've seen this. Have you seen this putter?
I have seen this
putter.
Look
at the pictures coming up for those watching. Describe this to folk. I mean, it's a 8802, isn't it?
It's a Wilson 8802, essentially. But it's a Scotty Cameron version
Shock horror.
version there of it's an exact replica of a famous putter.
Not like Scotty to do that.
So it's cool. It looks beautiful. It's simplistic. It's gorgeous. It's beautifully made. You had some thoughts on this. You're wondering whether he's got to the point where he's got this reputation of Cashmere Keith with his old FootJoy classic shoes,
baggy
trousers and the visor. Whether he's leaning into stuff for the sake of leaning into it, and because I mean, clearly there's no performance benefit to that.
Can't wait to what look all you want to Cashmere Keith. You also look miserable, by the way.
Wow.
Cheer up. Let's have a little smile. We're playing professional golf here. We're trying to make the game watchable.
He's really funny, apparently.
Great.
Tell his face.
Tell your face. And I think he's like, yeah, I've got cool trousers and I wear a visor. Let me get this like sleek looking He's going to miss all the
I want to add
putters
to the mystique. He's just trying to add to his mystique.
No way you actually like that. I'm sorry. I've tried one of these putters. They're
I disagree.
crazy.
I think there's every chance you could like it because they're cool and they feel flowy.
But you even see him on the green, how much it flows.
It'd be fascinating to see if that does make the actual bag. I'd love to. We'll keep you posted on that. We'll have a literally look at the putting stats from when that goes in the bag, because I would suggest there are models and technologies now in putting that would make his life a little bit easier now. Again, there'll be some elderly folk falling off their chairs, wistfully thinking of tales of Ben Crenshaw. I saw Ben Crenshaw once have 10 putts for 18 holes, and one of these, the older I get, the better I was kind of stories. But things move on, and look at the top end of the putting game, and look how many, even the modified blades, that's a blade to me. The putter you're looking at there.
I've started in my writing calling blades answer styles because I want to get this right, and I'm now a believer, having listened to you, that's a blade.
You've got more courage of your convictions for me. I tend to pander to what people are saying, and people nowadays recognise answers and Newport 2s as blades.
They do.
which they just aren't. They're fully
Because
perimeter.
then what does
they're
that,
fully
what,
perimeter weighted.
What makes that?
Yeah.
If that's a blade, what the heck? What,
So
what
a blade
are you
would be
that?
would be a tightless bullseye, that kind of putter with no perimeter weighting and such.
We'll see how he gets on. And speaking of which, this is going to be too old now, but Brooks is changing in and out lows. Tony Finau was in the Allianz set.
Was he?
In the white finish at Torrey and this week at the WM when we're filming. So he's having a little play as well.
I've not seen an update on his sort of putting because he's not really featured in a.
He's not featured. I can't remember the last time he's featured for a long, long time.
Yeah, he's not featured as such. So I've not really seen where he's at with his putting technique. But the last time I watched, I'm staggered that of all the coaches that walk around these greens, of all the people you must play practice around, his hands had gotten so low and the toe of the putter was so unbelievably far off the ground and it was such a little jab that I'm staggered that, and it was so low down on those stats. How someone who's playing for a living isn't looking at that and going, crikey, I'm a long way from what would be considered conventional or orthodox here. And that's fine if it's working, but when it isn't working, I'd be staggered to see if he's or very interested to see if he's still operating like that.
Absolutely. Have you seen his new Jordan clothing deal, by the way?
I heard. Go on, fill me in.
Well, it's official now. He's wearing Jordan shoes for a while. Now he's like full apparel. And again, this will be old news now, but what he was wearing at the Farmers at Torrey Pines, they've gone like, you can see where golf fashion's going now. It's gone from the bright bolts to the cardigans and the knits of the world and the heavy material. And Jordan, who you wouldn't think would lean into that, just check Tony Finau out on tour, what he's wearing at the minute. It's really clean. And the fact that Jordan are doing that, a brand that you think might be a bit more flashy.
Jordan had a bit of that back in the day, though. Like when he was in the 90s playing golf and when he should have been playing basketball, loved a bit of that sort of style. Do you reckon, you're always on about shoes and performance versus stability and fashion and blah, blah, blah. Do you reckon if Finau wasn't in trainery style Jordans when he ran up that hole at Augusta celebrating his hole-in-one and twisted his ankle?
Yeah, that wouldn't happen.
Do you reckon he'd have been in something more stable? That wouldn't have happened?
The shoe would have supported his foot properly.
There you go.
We'll keep track of the putting on tour. This is something we're going to follow nice and closely. And actually, well, no, other people are doing it for us who are actually out on tour, and we'll just comment on it. Won't we, Joe?
We will.
Right, time for an early rendition this week, Johnny boy, of our favourite part of the show, and hopefully yours as well. It's Ask the Pod. Early. Ask the Pod. Early. Get it in there.
Hopefully it'll be the whole show soon.
I think so. Ask the Pod. Ask the Pod.
Ask the Pod.
Ask the Pod. Thank you. The now famous jingle, which people sing along to, which is great. And as usual, Joe, now I'm going to do something YouTube.
How you getting on, mate?
I'm going to start with some YouTube comments. Size 58 shoes, big boy.
Sorry, is this the title of the comment?
That's the man's name.
Right, okay.
Comments, listening to an hour of golf gear garble has fast become my favourite way to start a Saturday morning here in New Zealand. Thank you, gents.
Did we do it down in New Zealand?
A Kiwi fan. Right, I didn't understand this comment, Joe, but you responded to it though as if you did.
Okay.
So help me out. David Salmon, 5466 on YouTube. As someone who was 13 to 18 years old in the early 90s, can I start rocking Joe Blogs, Naf Naf, and Soviet tops for golf now that baggy is back in vogue?
Yeah.
What's going on there? What are those words?
Just some pop culture-y style brands that were out in that period of time that followed the fashion that he
Naf.
Yeah, he's just alluding to a particular style of clothing that was very popular around that time, and he's leaning into the fact that he knows I will know that.
What about the Naf fisherman jumper, cream chunky?
What's your thoughts?
Would you like to wear it? I like it. I'm big into knit at the minute, and like these are the kind of styles we're seeing on tour now. Some heavier knitwear. I'm into it.
No, I do. I like it. It's all goes, and it's all cyclical, as we know.
We've had some comments where you ranted about graphite, or the Oracle over here ranted about graphite shafts and how they're coming back. A few comments on that. Mike Clark, graphite iron shafts are the way forward. Went for a fitting, and they've improved my iron play no end. So much nicer to play with and can move the ball more with more power as well. Love them so much, have now got them in wedges as well. Only the putter left with steel shaft, but give it time.
Yeah, well, you know where I stand on that. I'm fully on board with
what about
that.
in the putter? Doesn't make that big a difference, surely.
Again, not necessarily to performance. So it depends on where you stand on these things. But what you can do, and I didn't realise this until the last 18 months or so when I've been toying about with it, you can dramatically affect the feel of your putter impact by what shaft's in there. So as you know, my little toe up, I've got that KBS C-Taper 130X tipped about 3 inches because I just wanted something that felt really stout for a while, and it makes the putter feel like that, just rock hard. I've changed it about here and there. I've tried an LA golf shaft, tried some Fujikura putter shafts, and I've got some TPT putter shafts on the way. So
is this new for them? Have they ever done putter?
They do a lot of the putter shafts that go in lab putters. So they've done putter shafts before. And speaking to Sam Hahn at Lab and hearing from the grapevine, it's very difficult to precisely lie angle balance putters. So that's why they have to do everything by hand with individual weights and blah, blah, blah. And if a putter shaft isn't quite perfectly spherical, not spherical, perfectly round, cylindrical, I think is the word I mean. If there's discrepancies in where that weight is distributed, it can be even more difficult. And what they found is TPT, of all of the putter shafts they've tested, and they've tried some and actually cut ties with some putter companies because of the putter shaft companies because of the discrepancies, or they may have been spherical. Maybe that was the problem. They found TPT are just leagues above in the putter shaft stuff in terms of consistency. And I saw that out at Orlando show, got some on the way, and they're doing 3 different flexes of this. I think it's called the Pulse shaft. So I'm really looking forward.
Why not? Really
looking forward to seeing what difference that makes. So yeah, I think, again, when we're all looking for these marginal gains, looking for ways to fine tune what we've got in all of our clubs, you've got to decide whether you think that the performance benefits are there at all, and whether whatever that'll be, £400-500 for a putter shaft, probably, I would imagine. You've got to decide whether the slightly better response and feel is going to be beneficial to you. But yeah, that's where I net out, Dan.
Another comment, OG12 man, I switched from Modus 3 115S to MMT 85R and couldn't be happier.
Those MMT shafts really good. So Mitsubishi shaft, I can't remember what MMT stands for, but
material technology?
Probably, yeah. Multi-materials, probably, yeah. Great, Dan. So of all the graphite shafts that I've tested, there's, again, I would say, I've spoken to you before about the level of stability improving, but I would say from what I've seen from the individual different graphite shafts, you can get a wider range of feels. So what I'm saying is, from stable to softest to smoothest to tightest to whatever, you can create some bigger gaps between shafts in graphite than you can in steel. Quite honestly, when I try a Dynamic Gold versus a Modus versus Project X, a bit different, that's pretty bawdy. You can notice some slight differences, and but it's slight, it's minor. With how much more material you've got to play with in graphite, the different profiles are really different. So you can really get some extremities and really fine tune your feel. And one of my favourites so far has been that MMT shaft.
Well, OG12 man's enjoying it. A graphite shaft in a soft forge iron produces the most amazing feel.
Really does, impact. Yeah.
I want to try. So we're doing a series in the summer, thanks to our friends at ShotScope, where we're going to try and get me to win my club championships net, by the way, and
in association with David Blaine, the magician,
and ShotScope and David Blaine. What's the other one? Houdini.
Dynamo. Remember him?
I really need Darren Brown to hypnotize me to think I can do that, because I don't believe I could do that.
I went to a Darren Brown live show. Nothing remarkable happened. I just went, no, nonsense.
What were you doing there then?
Mrs. wanted me to go, didn't she?
That stinks of Caroline.
Stinks of Caroline. I was just thinking about, as you said, forged blade or a forged iron with a graphite shaft. You were chatting to me, you're going to try and tap up Cobra because you've been listening to me about 3DP irons. The 3DP Tour
with some axioms,
with the right axiom or,
so I'm thinking,
or graphite shaft you want, that could be syrup.
We're going to do a video of honey.
Correct.
Context, that was a comment we had a few weeks ago. If you didn't listen, I'm not into that. Part of this video series, episode 1 of the Road to the Club Champs, is me and you down in the performance lab, specking my bag out. I've got loads of clubs in my garage in the years. I've not tested stuff, but been given stuff.
We're going to work it all through, aren't we?
So I want to have options like a graphite shaft for my irons, some different iron heads. So that's part. I will hopefully have some, because I want to give feedback on this as well. I'm not hitting these graphite shafts. I'm not hitting these 3D printed irons. I'm also quite greedy and selfish and want the things.
I want
the shiny things.
Yeah, no, I could genuinely see you benefiting from. I think you'd be a good candidate for mental health support for sure. Just a life coach, I think something like that. But specifically, I think I would like to see you in something 20 grams lighter in weight in shaft with a bit more head weight. I've always just look at you and I just feel like taking some weight out that midsection, adding it to the head, creating some momentum. I don't know. It's something I'd like to see with you.
And I want to have the Joe Ferguson experience down in the old performance lab. So that's to come later in the year. Last comment before we get into the questions this week. James Thomas, Ari, the big blue line through my 2-ball.
G'day, Tomo.
There are some white sponges you can get, and they clean off Sharpie and are excellent at cleaning golf clubs. I think they're called magic erasers. You used anything like that?
Not, no. Special. It's good to know.
I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
So thank you. Sorry, I'm having indigestion at the minute. Just FYI. First question, Joe.
Still having it?
Yeah.
Do you want me to take over the question?
No.
Okay.
It's nice for everyone to hear, isn't it?
Yeah.
Russell Palmer's been in touch. Good evening, fellow gearheads. Love the pod. Watched every episode and now addicted to Joe's review channel featuring Sweaty Sam. Good bit of crossover there. Thank you very much. Just before I ask my question, I wanted to let Joe know my first irons, circa 1998, at the ripe old age of 14, was an inherited set of Maruman Conductor YG blades.
Wow.
We spoke about Maruman, didn't we? When did we speak?
So, I don't know if it's Maruman or Maruman or Maruman.
I like Maruman. It sounds like a superhero.
It does. Who looks after marrows. But yeah, that was, I believe, a Japanese company, got really big in the sort of late 80s, early 90s, I think. Had the Dame on staff. Laura Davis was a Marriman player. Ian Woosnam was a Marriman player.
Marrow woman.
For
the Dame, sorry, I was a bit slow on that one.
For the Dame, yeah.
She was a marrow woman.
You buffering there.
Yeah.
And that's, well, I mean, they made some super thin top edges. If you're starting out, what did he say? He was like 14?
Yeah.
See, that plays
YG
into my
blades.
strategy of
it does.
don't start these kids on game improvements.
Are you a baller, Russ? What's your handicap?
But he's a striper.
Yeah. Then I went to Nike Forge Blades, then to Nike Combo. Finally got fit for a set of Strixon Z745 6.5 Project X shafts in 2017, and will likely have these until I need a hollow body and all the help I can get. Suffice to say, I learned how to strike it, and when my daughter is old enough, she will inherit my Nike blades and learn how to hit them before she's allowed to look at any help in the iron. Yes, Russ?
Absolutely right, Russ.
My question is about spin, primarily with driver. My interpretation of spin is as long as you have enough of it, any more than that is too much. I hear all the time that high MOI drivers mainly come with slightly higher spin, but how is more spin more help? The Magnus effect, to my low IQ intelligence, comes to the conclusion that more spin means more movement left or right, given the spin axis. Russ has been listening and learning. Or you already knew this. As long as it isn't falling out of the sky, full knuckleball, and you have enough spin, surely that is optimal. Any more is just hurting. Can you clarify, please, in my little brain? Regards, Russ. Good question, Russ. Go on, Joe.
No, I can't. I'm as confused as Russ is. So I tried to clear this up, having spoken with people at Titleist. A good chat with Chickenhead about this. Got a voice note from Chickenhead. This is when he put us onto the Magnus effect, which was in his opinion, or what they deem correct at Titleist, I guess, is that in theory, if you tilt that spin axis, if you're someone who fades it or draws it, the higher spinning golf ball you have, or the higher spinning drive or whatever, will enhance that curvature. You're giggling already.
You won't be able to hear this. It's raining, cats and dogs outside, and the little piddle that comes down from the pipe next to me is reminding me of wee.
Funny, isn't it?
And that's making me laugh.
So yeah, in theory, Chickenhead's synopsis was that if the ball is spinning, it's a spinnier ball, be that through the ball or be that through the driver, curvature is going to be enhanced. So your dispersion's going to be worse. But yeah, once again, we talk about it a lot, going, oh yeah, I mean this high MOI drive is a bit more, it's stable, but it's a lot spinnier. But that spin can be your friend and help you keep the ball on line. And I've heard that sort of argument that the reason you hit your pitching wedge a lot straighter than you hit your 7-iron, or your 5-iron is because it's got 10,000 revs on instead of 7,000 revs. So when the ball's spinning backwards more, it's got less propensity for that spin axis to be tilted. That's another theory I've heard. So quite frankly, I haven't got a clue. But what I see in practice, I mean, the Bryan brothers are a good example of this. There's other things at play with the Bryan brothers, but Wesley Bryan is a notoriously erratic driver of the golf ball and tends to spin it at around 1,1800 reps. George Bryan is one of the better drivers of the golf ball, certainly on YouTube, but arguably as any professional, he's really straight, good distance, always spinning it kind of 2.5 to 2.8.
That feels high.
And he's an awful lot straighter than his brother. Now, there's obviously other things at play, swing stuff, face to path stuff, but the rain's getting heavier, isn't it? But quite frankly, I do tend to see in fittings or back in the day, and just in general life, my perception is, whether this is scientifically correct or not, players with more spin tend to be in play more. Players with those sort of 1,600 to 2,000 numbers have a lot more volatility from a left to right dispersion now. I'm going against the science that Chickenhead's spoken about there. I'm going against some of the other theories, but that's what I tend to see.
It's fascinating.
By the way, talking of rain, you've dribbled all down your top.
That's water, by the way. I wasn't just mouth,
pure dribble,
mouth agape, listening to Joe talk about spin. Isn't it interesting though that the jury's still out on something like this, and like the idea of high spin, high MI drivers is actually on a theory that some people disagree with.
But maybe the jury isn't out, and maybe it's just people's difference in interpretations of the same thing. I don't know, but like I said, Chickenhead didn't seem to think the jury was out. You know,
oh right, he thinks
in terms of science, if a ball is spinning more and that ball's spin axis is tilted, then the curvature. I agree with that statement, right?
Yeah.
If the ball is spinning more and you tilt that spin axis to the right a bit,
it's going to go in.
The more revolutions, the more curvature you're going to produce. I get that, but then I'm not sure though, if you're someone who produces more spin, be it from a ball or a club head point of view, because you produce more spin, you're less liable to tilting spin axis. Because I've heard that before. The more you tilt, the more spin you've got on it going backwards, the less susceptible that spin axis is to tilting. I've heard
because
that
more spin helps stop tilt.
Presumably, yeah.
But what if you're just a guy or girl who...
Not giving many answers here, we're just posing a lot of questions.
I like it. It's fun. That's what we're here to do. It's a podcast, for God's sake. It's just talk.
Through the rain and the dribble.
What if you're just a person who doesn't produce a lot of spin axis? It's so good that there's no spin axis, but you still spin it at 2.83 with your driver, but are just so skilled that you don't get any. Whereas me at 2.83, who gets a lot of spin axis, it F's off left and right then.
Yeah.
What if it's all player dependent, which everything seems to be in this game?
It could be another one of those for sure. I mean, if you're someone who's consistently swinging it at 0 swing direction with a 0 face to path number,
you could put all sorts of spin on it.
Play what you want. Yeah. I mean, I guess, but I wish I had more answers for you on that. I find the whole thing a bit confusing, and that's something we can probably delve a bit deeper into when we go to the Titleist ball plant.
I think we're going to get a lot from this
definitive
ball
answers
plant
from those
summer,
people that do a lot of that stuff, right?
We will put a pin in that for you, Russ. But
sorry,
thanks
Russ.
for you. No, I think that hasn't answered your question, and we're sorry, but it's good chat, isn't it?
It is good chat
for those who are interested. Next, Greg Kingy. Hi, Greg. My question is, coming into the new year, we may have covered this already, but I'm quite happy to redo it, relitigate it. My question is, coming into the new year, do I invest in lessons with the clubs I have that are not right for me? It's quite a declaration already, Greg. Or get fitted into a set of irons with the swing I have. I'm newish to golf, 1 full season, but grew up playing baseball. This means my swing is quick, 114 mile an hour with a driver, steep, and I feel pretty consistent.
Why would baseball make you swing steep? Surely baseball would make it flat. Baseball should make him flat and rotational.
He should be just dropping it on the inside, shouldn't he?
Were you bad at baseball?
He's like coming in with
hammering the ball into the floor.
He just bunted. You know when they bunt.
Just a bunter.
Just a bunter.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to play competitive. Just want to stop losing balls into the woods.
Amen, Greg. Amen, brother.
On what feels like a great strike on my irons. I played near Seattle. Very similar climate to us, Joe. Very wet fairways.
Okay.
Year round. Carry is king. My miss is heel.
Greg King. Carry is Greg.
Carry is you, Greg.
Yeah.
My Mrs. Heel Hosel, which makes a flat lie issue worse. Having done the marker line tests, I know I need several degrees more upright. I've done a 7-iron fitting and know I can hit the ball straighter with +2 degrees and a heavier stiff shaft. I'm a single length enjoyer. And that's fine. There's a group of people out there. And got a set of regular flex 37.5-inch Cobra Rad Speed 1 lengths online. Mid-size, low taper grips, single wrap of masking tape done myself with recoil shafts. Added some wedges in there as well. As a filthy casual, 20 rounds a year at a local par 67 and par 3 course, is the money better suited in clubs meant for me, a Voda, Forward, another custom builder, or in lessons to improve, or sucking it up and switching to variable length where I have more options? Love the show, Greg from Seattle, Washington.
Right.
Which is a long way away. I think baseball might be for you, Greg. No, I'm being silly. The clubs sound completely F to me.
I think you're right. I mean, if he's swinging driver at 114, a regular flex graphite in these one lengths, don't mind the one length thing. Go one length,
Got
go
no
combo
problem
length.
with that.
But it doesn't feel like you're in a shaft that's going to cope with your speed there. I would say if you were, it sounds like I agree. I think spec wise, it's a bit all over the shop here, and it sounds like if you were in something closer or something relatively in the ballpark, for a baseball phrase there, Dan.
Very good.
Thank you. Then that
The diamond.
you could probably justify saying, right, I'm gonna stick with what I've got here. I'm gonna go down the lesson front to improve my technique and work within the parameters because it's close. Doesn't sound like he's very close
I think,
at all.
and if he's as he says, a filthy casual,
yeah,
and you're just quite happy with the way you're hitting the ball, not too worried, and you already know that 2 degrees upright is going to help you out, I'd invest in the clubs and have a laugh. Lessons can be quite boring and taxing if you don't really want to do it. If you really want to do it and get better at your swing,
you're invested in that
what
process.
a great place to be, and you're really bouncing off your coach. If you're kind of here or there, you're going to waste your money with the coach.
I would suggest you might be right, and I would suggest that once he gets his equipment sorted in a better place, he might just see a very quick and tangible improvement in his golf and his scores anyway, which might then inspire him to go, crikey, I'm better than I thought at this. I'm going to actually take some lessons to progress that. And you know you're in a decent place with your equipment.
This doesn't suit everybody because this is definitely never a lessons versus clubs one size fits all thing.
Nope.
Because there's guys and girls out there with a set that's perfect for them that are like, oh, I want new clubs because it's a new shiny thing. Or
they have a bad day because the swing's off. Oh, this driver's rubbish. I'm going to buy a new one.
Need. So that's a very case specific thing. So in answer to his question, that's lessons or clubs, very case specific. And in Greg King's case, I'd go clubs.
Greg King's case sounds like a film, that.
James Tierney, this is a comment rather than a question, but what I wanted to include. Tierney, like off of Kieran.
Right, got you.
Further to your discussion, and one we've had over the last few episodes actually, on why buy the new £600 club. For me, the best analogy is buying a new car. You're buying something that does the same job, although it may go a bit faster and have new technology. You're mainly only going to drive it at 70 miles an hour max, the legal limit. Not on the M40 though, because you can do whatever you want on there. No, I don't believe that. You're only going to drive it at 70, or in the golf club's case, 250 yards. Yeah. It's all going to go roughly the same distance. However, it's nice to occasionally treat yourself to an upgrade. It feels good. It can impress your friends and reinvigorates you to get out and play. And that, James, to me, is actually the whole you and me getting in our heads about, do we talk about RRP? Do we not? Are golf clubs too expensive? Are we out of the loop because we don't have to pay for this stuff? I think nail on the head there of the world of capitalism and the world of buying things. Do you have the money? Do you want it? That's the question.
I fancy a nice new fancy driver that's shiny and nice and looks great. It makes
me feel good.
Cool.
Sometimes you buy things just to feel something in this god-awful world.
It's been a long day.
Keep up the great work and get Joe playing with Bullard either on your channel or Golf Life. We're going to try some at Bullard this year.
We will.
TBC. Incidentally, I have every 7-iron of every set I've ever owned of 35 years on display in my man cave, but not many pictures of old cars or family members. Shows how much I love golf. So treat yourself. I like the cut of James's jib.
What about you? Because you were saying you like the smell of your ERC grip because it tells a story and blah, blah, blah. If you can look at your golfing history on a plinth.
I'm so regretful that you haven't done this because now it's too late, isn't it? I could go back and buy the sets, but
can you remember them? You might not have had that many. I would have no chance.
Yeah, you'd have no chance. I've probably only had 5 sets of irons, 6 sets of
You
irons.
could do that.
I've got all the ones still from when I've been in the industry. The ones before that I really can't remember. I had RBZs, X20s. I might come back to you
Have
on
a
that.
think.
Because I wish I still had my first ever car and just like gave it, you know, when you can off the road it, so you don't have to tax it or anything. Just to look at it. I don't know.
Where would you park it?
Just a garage.
You've only got one
somewhere.
space at your gaff.
Okay, let's come back to that.
Yes.
Colin Jones.
Jonesy,
And the email starts, ask the pod.
ask the pod.
Ask the pod. Thank you, Colin. Hi, Dan. Hi, Joe. Avid listener and spreader of the pod here. Driving range type ask. It's a bit outside of equipment, but I still think we can help, Joe.
Right.
60 ball session. What's your recommended use of balls and time so they get the most out of it? I'm avoiding the longest drive screen as I've realised that 60 balls vanish and I've not worked on anything of note apart from creating massive hooks and an aching back.
Yeah.
Colin, you're spot on. I think you're getting to the crux of this. What do you do with 60 balls?
It depends on where you're at, doesn't it? It depends on what you're trying to achieve at that time. If you're having lessons, if you're working on some technique, it's probably a good idea I like to kind of block the ball. So if which I have been this winter, working on a little bit of a swing change, you can do this if you're sad like me and weird, create little pyramids. So I'd create 4 balls in a square.
That
And pop a
works. I
fifth,
bet your brain loves that.
pop a 5th one on top to make a nice little cherry on top of my little ball pie. And then if you've got 50, you make 10 of those piles, and then you just go.
And then you get really hungry all of a sudden.
And then you just go, well, I'm fat. So then I would get my first pie. My first pie would be working on the drill or using my TRS ball, which I use for my particular swing floor. For the first pie, my second pie would be freewheeling. See if the first pie can infiltrate my natural swing of my second pie. Get back to my third pie, I'm back on the drill ball. So I'm alternating, trying to make a drill feel natural, basically, alternating. And I think 5 balls is a good one for that, not least because it makes a really nice, neat little pie. If you are not in the midst of changing things and you're looking from a performance point of view, I would suggest just a good old-fashioned up the ladder kind of thing. So you might want to go, if we're talking 60 balls, let's break it down into 10s. The first 6 I would expect to be looseners, whether that's a little sand wedge, flicking some away, move it, and just start with a half swing up to 3/4, up to full swing.
I don't even think about what I'm going to work on, like grip or stance, or even where the ball's going. I'm literally just like hit ball, loosen up. Yeah.
But then for me, I think the next stuff is all about calibration. If you're practicing, as you're saying, when you're just wailing on driver, you can kind of have the same problems if you're not setting up. I talk about it all the time, like a station. Whether that's alignment for your toes, for your club face, ball position, whatever your sort of practice calibration station is, you need to be using that. I would then set that up and I measure distance away from the ball as well. So I'd start with, say, a 9 iron then after I've done my little warm up. I'd pick out a target, I'd set my alignment sticks up at that target, and then I'd go 6 balls with that 9 iron to that target. Depending on your skill level, sometimes I would go, the first 2 I would try and cut to that target. The second 2 I would try and draw to the target. The third 2,
it's above my pay grade.
The third 2 I would try and hit straight or a little knockdown or something. So you're trying to vary some flight in there. Then I would absolutely change target, because you can get used to just hitting to the same point. Move to a target on the left. Change your alignment sticks. Change your calibration station. If you're going up to a 6 iron or a 5 iron or whatever, next 6, same thing. 2 draws, 2 fades, 2 straight with that, or just stock shots if that's where your skill level's at. And then just work your way up the bag like that until you get to driver. Finish on maybe your 6 drivers or 3 drivers, and then just wind down with 3 little pitches. Because
a wind down's cute.
A little wind down's cute. And then if you want to make them into pies, make them into
still
pies.
Make those into pies. Can you make 6 balls a pie though? Because I think structure doesn't work, doesn't it? It has to be 5 balls for a pie.
I think for a pie, you're looking at 5. So yeah, what you could do is you could split them into 5 lots of 10, so 5 pies. Good. And then you would have 10 balls just to
do whatever you want.
Maverick.
Any other foods we can make?
No, don't think so.
Could you? Okay, fine. I'm not going to stop that with that analogy. But good bit of advice there, Joe. So if you are working or not working on something, there's something a bit more structured for you, Colin. Let us know how you get on.
Sorry, just to hammer that home, that swing thing. Because I remember having lessons and going and seeing people for lessons. They're like, yeah, you just want to do this, do that, change this. And they tell me about a part in the swing that I needed to change. I'm like, cool, yeah, that makes perfect sense. But then I was like, well, how?
Yes.
I know what I'm supposed to do. How do I do that?
Yes.
Do I just do this drill now for 2 months and not make any normal swings? Do I every other shot? Do I go one drill, one swing? Do I have one full session of drilling and then next time go another full session of normal swinging where I might get back to my old habits? So that the process of how to make changes, I don't think is ever that explained that well by a lot of coaches. They can tell you what to do and show you why that's good, but it's like, cool, well, how do I do it then? And to me, the most effective way, because I've just been through this and it's starting to really fall into place actually, is that 5 and 5, 5 and 5. Might be 3 and 3 for you, might be 4 and 4, but just 5 drills, 5 proper swings, 5 drills, 5 proper swings, 5 drills, 5 proper swings, and just let it seep in.
Because then, and you need it to get to a stage where on the golf course you're not having to think about all of it. You need it to become muscle memory, and I like the idea of flipping back and forth from that. How is your swing at the minute? You gave me a call the other day saying I'm in Flushville. I'm the mayor of Flusher's town.
Caught the flushes the other day. I don't know whether it's the Cobra 3D PMBs that just feel great. Maybe I'm not flushing it.
Your cardi there, sort of a brown stain by the Wilson thing.
That's barbecue sauce from the KFC, or it could be chicken tikka masala.
Looks way too dry. Looks way too dry.
I think that's curry.
It's been on there for a while.
You
went out for a curry in that?
I did, yeah. What's your point?
Nothing. I don't know anymore.
Where were we? Flushing. Yeah.
What you're Flushing? Yeah, the clubs that we've raved
Well, yeah,
about.
I had a tough time at Pinehurst, didn't I? I've spent the last a long time actually, just being so hit and miss. When I'm on, I'm quick, I can hit it, I can putt and chip, so I can go really low and I look great. And then everyone's like, oh, what? You should be playing for a living. What are you doing this? I do great scores and can win things and blah, blah, blah. But my floor is so low.
Yes.
My ceiling's high.
And the floor is low.
My floor is low. And
whereas like Diath, for example, Sweaty Sam, I don't think his floor...
No.
I've never seen his
similar
floor.
ceiling. We shoot similar numbers. But his floor is couple over, one over, scabs it a bit and doesn't hold many putts and just shoots about par.
Mm-hmm.
Mine's not been there. That's not for any other reason than technical deficiencies. Like some that my golf swing has historically been so reliant on timing and flipping of the hands and timing all that up that's been a problem. So I got a bit fed up of that. I wanted something a little bit more low maintenance, and I wanted just a drill to hang my hat on and just, you know how you watch Scheffler go through the same routine with his training grip. You watch Justin Rose, we spoke about doing the same drill for the past decade, coming back to the same things. I've never done that. I've just tried that. So this TRS ball that I've been using between my forearms just to keep my right arm basically used to get away from me, chicken wing out behind, then I had to refined it and a big mess. So I've just been working on keeping better arm structure with that. I'm not there yet by any means, but my dispersion has come right down. I can stand on a tee and know I'm going to keep it on the same hole with a driver.
That's huge,
which is big for me. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward. My golf might take a little bit of a turn. Do you mind digressing a bit?
No, I've got nowhere to be.
Don't care, do you?
I care. Doesn't really matter.
I might be getting my amateur status back, I think.
Oh, really? Do we think we're dropping the PGA?
Well,
so you can be a member somewhere as well?
Yeah, a couple of things. So down near me, Saunton and Royal North Devon don't have a membership category for PGA professionals that don't work at the golf club. Yeah. And I can see that. I understand it. I don't totally agree, but I can fully understand where that sort of premise comes from. And I said to you, like, I get jealous of you and Sam and like, what are you up to the weekend? Oh, well, I'm playing the roll up with the boys. Then we're doing this. Then we've got a match. And then on Wednesday, we've got the chuck up.
It's good, man.
Whatever. There's a bit of sense of that. And I haven't had that for years and years and years.
That's what golf is to me, though. I know I've never played competitively like you, but that's what golf is.
It was for me. So when I was a junior, when I was a teenager, I had that at the golf club. We'd go and play scratch matches.
Yeah.
Then I'd have it doubly because we'd go and play the county team, and we'd have that with that. And then I'd have it triply because you'd go with the national squads and things like that. So I had this sort of, there was always people and there was always chat.
Yeah.
When you turn pro, you're on your Todd. And when you're a PGA pro that's not at a club,
even more on your own.
Just gear to, I just turn up at a golf club with a bag of balls and a load of gear and quietly find a corner, hit some balls and take some numbers. So I'm quite keen on the idea of doing that. I didn't think I wanted to for ages simply because
you were murmuring about it last year.
Well, it's just that I still like the option of making a little bit of money. So when I play well, I can be very competitive on our region. I can win our regional events, and it's not mega bucks, but it's nice.
It's why the pricing thing you won a few £100 for.
Yeah, it's nice little secondary income. But the PGA schedule came through this year, and they've basically stopped almost all playing opportunities. I think some of the events weren't as well supported, so them throwing staff at it for rules officials, for starters, for people to do the scoring is becoming less financially viable, weather conditions, whatever. So the playing opportunities become so limited. So I'm paying my £500 subs a year to be a PGA member as this has got a bit non-golf equipment, isn't it? I'm just talking about me.
People quite like you, mate. You're an influencer now.
I'm an influencer,
People want to hear about it.
And I'm thinking, well, what am I getting out of this now? I'm not a club pro, so I don't need the public liability insurance. I don't.
Is that what the benefits?
Yeah, you get that, and then the PGA Great Britain and Ireland. Truthfully, I don't think the benefits are great. I chat to some of my friends at the PGA America, and I think you could just turn up at the Masters and flash your PGA card and get in any day at the Masters.
Hey.
You get incredible discounts on various things. The PGA of America, there's 35 spots for the PGA pros to get in a major championship. You can't even get in it used to be like 10 to get in the BMW PGA. Now I think maybe one, if that.
Interesting.
So it's all gone a bit iffy for me, that. So I'm now thinking I'm not getting any value out of that.
You're weighing up the idea of just having a bit more fun playing again, a bit more social side. Don't worry about the money on the side. You could take a five quid off a few people.
Could do, yeah. I
think you would.
Might be battling out the Devon County Championship.
Yeah,
soon.
load of skins. Get a big money skins match going on and just fucking scrape it up.
Could be the start of the Joe Ferguson Invitational that we.
I'm really into the idea of the Joe Ferguson with all the weird rules you come up with.
Sorry about that briefing, Tilly. I just wanted to air that.
Joe's quite reflective
clear in my head.
He's got 2 weeks off now. He's in his cardigan. And he just had to get that off his chest. People like you though, mate. It's fun.
That's kind. Thank you.
Right, Rory McIlroy, come on.
Crikey, this is going to be long, isn't it?
They're all long and no one cares nicely. Actually, someone commented that and then they got like loads of likes as well.
Did it?
So we just carry on. You know what?
Do you want to talk about now?
Fuel's a bit cheaper than it was recently. It's $127 now.
You told me you don't use any product in your hair the other day, which baffled me. I didn't realise
just my own greases.
Just your grease sorts it out. That's cool. Rory McIlroy.
Well, where are we at with Rory? Because we had pretty much, I'm going to say 2025 was the same bag as 2024.
Yeah, more or less. Didn't change fairway, didn't change driver. Putter was always the same. It's like wedge changes. Rors Protos in the bag. Kept that P764 on. Yeah, more or less. He's been same bag for 2 years.
Fast forward to February, March now, famously, 2026, and we've got enough changes to talk about here to do another little what's in the bag. So let's talk about his bag and then kind of focus in on the changes that have been made and why we think.
Let's start from the top then. Let's just go as we normally do in the big stick. So there was problems for TaylorMade really a little bit last year with their two main guys in Rory and Scotty. We've spoken about this at length before, not going into the current product of QI35, sticking with their QI10, and subsequently it looks like we might be a third year where
we need to talk about
Scotty's back in
at some point
in the QI10. He's certainly there for the time being. I think sometimes, like your little eyes lit up there, and I see all this chatter about it, and everyone's like, "Oh, can't believe." I'm thinking the guy's broken almost every scoring record, money record, tournament won majors with this driver. Is it that remarkable that he wants to stay in it?
Is that not? We're so conditioned to the kind of stranglehold that the brands have over their ambassadors that we're like, well, he's going to change because that's what happens. We're so like, yep, that's going to happen. That the fact that someone stood up and gone, no, and TaylorMade have obviously gone, fine, we want you playing our club still. It's like, great. But that is the exception to the rule now.
Yeah, no,
that's
you're right.
why
It does
shocking.
seem to be. It's just,
not that it is shocking, it's that we used to it happening.
I guess the problem comes, and I wonder, this is probably unavoidable for a brand, but when the athlete, the player tries the new product and goes back, that's not a good look, is it? So they did that. Remember the Bay Hill thing?
Gamed QI4D.
Scotty gamed QI35 for a bit last year.
They both went on the same week, didn't
Rory
they?
and Scotty both went in QI35, and Rory ended up getting his QI10s Ubered. Do you remember that?
Ubered over from Florida.
Scotty lasted about the same in length of time before going back as well. Then I heard Nelly Corder in an interview saying, well, those guys didn't switch, so they know what they're talking about, so I didn't. And there's knock-on effect. So we've seen Rory go into QI4D already, and the numbers look really good. We saw Scotty playing it at the Hero World Chuck Up, as you call it.
Yes. Which is why he probably didn't care to put it in. And this event means nothing.
Hey,
which it doesn't.
Numbers look good, but he didn't win, did he?
No.
Which would be considered an absolute nightmare for Scheffler anytime he doesn't win. And yeah, been back in. How's this Rory McIlroy? What's the bag turned into Scheffler already? So he looks back in QI10 for the foreseeable, and then immediately won the first week back. I think the American Express Championship, didn't he? First week back with QI10, so it's normal service regime. So to me, it's just not remarkable at all that you would still play that product. But, hey ho, I get it.
Rory has, though.
Rory's in the QI 4D core model in 9 degrees. The core model, I sort of paused then because it kind of is the dot model he's been playing before. It's exactly the same shape. So he was in the QI10 dot, then he wasn't for a bit. But it's basically that mid-pair shape. So it's not as pear-shaped as the LS, but it's not as round as the Max. They've gone back to having that differentiator, whereas in QI35, the core was the same shape as the Max. Exactly the same head profile. So we've got a lot of people who seem to be gravitating towards the core.
He's not in the dot head of QI40 because that doesn't exist, because they've made the core
not
like
that we've
the
seen
old
yet.
dot. It probably will at some point. But it's so similar to the dot last time, or QI10 rather.
Which in itself, I'm not saying it's presented problems, but certainly of all the core models I've tested this year, it's comfortably the lowest spinning, I would say.
Yeah.
So it's very
they've
close.
Sacrificed a bit of that just to get it into the lad's hands.
Maybe that's the scenario, but it's very close to LS now in terms of its profile. So there's quite a big jump from the core to the Max in terms of spin. So that range isn't as balanced. It's not like 2,000 spin on the LS, 2.5 on the core, 3,000 on the Max. It's probably, robot, whatever, 2,000 on the LS, 2.1 on the core, and then 3,000. So it's not as sort of spread out. But anyway, he's in the 9 degree model, but he's got it on a lower setting. So he's 2 clicks towards lower on the loft sleeve. We know that opens up the face angle, which some might go, well, what's all that about? Rory draws the ball. Why would you want to see the face angle open to the right? You see it a lot. It's counterintuitive in the sense that, well, he wants to turn the ball over. Why would you have the face angle pointing right? Well, that's about start line. It helps him start the ball right of target, seeing that face angle going a little bit to the right.
Would it help encourage you swing playing at all, having it out there? Or is it all about just encouraging
you're probably
the
right.
Subliminally,
Subliminally, if you're seeing the club face right at address, it might encourage you either from a swing path point of view or from a release point of view to remember, I've got to release this because the club face is starting a little bit right, and then that might encourage draw.
It would
again totally player dependent. I've
but
not heard
he's a
him
good
talk
player.
about that.
If I had that and it was pointing left for me, it would make me want to swing so far over the top of it to try and make it move right.
Correct.
For a left
and that's an interesting concept for players.
But he's just cleverer than I am.
Well, not cleverer, but it's maybe more an athletic. He certainly is, but maybe it's maybe more of an athletic reaction, and how people react. Better players tend to, this is a sweeping statement, I'm just going to try to qualify it in my head. Better players tend to react to face angle with release and club face. Poorer players tend to react to face angle with path. Path or plane, it gets steeper and chop across it. So it feels like the obvious place. The easiest thing I can do is just swing left and that'll sort this out, whereas better players will release or hold off to counteract that. I see that a lot. So loft plays,
that's quite cool.
Around 8 degrees or a little under. I've not seen the exact measurement of this head actually yet, but it'd be around the 8 degree mark or just under based on that loft sleeve, depending on where it started. It's got the Fujikura Ventus 6X, the original Ventus, not the Velo Core Plus. So this is a black 6X, tipped 1 inch. Again, not mad surprising that he hasn't switched. It's a very the new black to the old black. If you can tell the difference in your golf swing, you're very, very in tune with things. It's the same profile.
You're a big feels guy if you can sort of work that out.
Really, really would be. Interesting, the tipping. I want to get a bit more into this. I'm going to speak to some people at Fuji about this because tipping, tour versus retail. I'm doing the 6-7
dance there, aren't you?
Tour versus retail. If you look at the tip trimming guide on Fujikura's site, they would say no tipping for driver, straight in, and that's the way it goes. I think it's maybe ½ inch for 3-wood, inch for whatever. Whereas what seems to be standard on tour for every shaft and almost every tour van that I've heard of, drivers tend to get tipped an inch as standard on tour, 1.5 inches in 3-wood, 2 inches in 5-wood. And that's against what the manufacturers say. Now, obviously, these guys are swinging it a lot quicker than people at retail, so that would explain why that is. But I asked someone from Fuji this out in Orlando if you got an exact correlation from a robot, for example, if you tip in a club an inch versus it being untipped, what does that do? Because the theory is an inch tipping will maybe take 150 revs off, or 200 revs of spin or something like that, and just tightens up that tip section to bring dispersion in. But I've never actually seen this quantified on a robot.
This is just hearsay.
Yeah.
But you get a lot of that in the industry, don't you? Because there's a lot of people talking.
Yeah, and I sort of I pushed it, and then they got some other guy over, and he's like, yeah, I mean, we could do that, I suppose. And thinking,
you should.
Go on then. I'd really like to know. I want to know what this quantifiable difference is. But then if we're testing that on a robot, we get to the age-old problem of, well, that's a robot. What does that do to someone who swings it and releases it quicker, earlier, later, player-dependent stuff again?
You're not a scientist, right?
I think we've all well aware of that.
Qualified that information.
Yeah.
However, these engineering companies and these shaft companies could do with a brain like yours. Just ask, because maybe they've just not thought of it.
Just asking the silly questions.
You couldn't do any of this because you don't have the sort of minerals.
Correct.
But you have the thoughts. How about that? It's just a thought.
I'd just like to know, you know, you just go on a tour.
They need you in the Fujikura office, just sort of.
But it's just, again, one of those things that's always been done. And this is since I played a couple of tour events back in the early 2010s.
Influencer.
You'd go on before I was an influencer, Dan. You'd go on a tour van. If you had a driver built up and you say, oh yeah, I can make this 9 degrees, whatever it would have been there back then, a speeder shaft or whatever. As standard, that would come back out on the range tipped an inch. Whether you mentioned, unless you specifically said no tipping, please, or whatever.
So tipping was just done like you.
Which still is. I think it's just bog standard. We generally tip an inch on driver unless otherwise specified, and that's not on the manufacturer's guidelines on the websites ever. So I would just like to know a little bit more about precisely what that does. I know what it does to the feel. It's minimal, but the suggestion is it obviously tightens up the tip section. When you make it shorter, you're just making it a bit stouter in that area, which can cope with some higher speeds. But we're already in 6x shafts and tip stable stuff. Why are we doing more? So I'd just like to know a little bit more, and maybe there's a video in that, so we'll get into that. But
great.
But
should we get off his driver?
Yeah, maybe we should.
Should we move on?
3-wood. He's also in QI4D, so he's in the QI4D core, which is a bonded hosel for tour. The retail now is all adapters, which is a shame for me because I like bonded hosel, as
I didn't realise that.
Yeah, no, everything's in adapter, even down to like the 7 and 9 woods and stuff now, which were previously bonded hosel.
Just makes a lot more sense at retail,
I
so
agree.
People can fiddle around with this. So yeah, I get
perfect sense. But obviously, Rory, they have the molds on tour where he can stick his screw in his head and get that bent precisely to what he wants, and what precisely he wanted on this was 14 degrees of loft and 58 degree lie angle, which is pretty standard in terms of lie angle. He's got a Ventus Black 8X shaft here, again the OG. Bog standard, no reason tipping, 1.5 inches.
I like this. I like these little crusades you have.
The inexplicable.
Why are we doing that? Why?
Tell me, just tell me. And if you can't tell me,
you're like a petulant teenager.
Why?
Come on, we're going shopping. Why? Well, I've got to go to the big shop and I can't leave it. What?
Yeah. Length. He plays interestingly because he's always been quite long in driver, or generally was. He would always be like a 45.5, 45.75 kind of a guy, although he did experiment shorter for a while. Very short in 3-wood, 42.5 inches, which is
what standard?
43 1/4.
Okay.
From TaylorMade. So 3/4 of an inch shorter than standard.
What's that to do? Bring strike in? Does it take distance off?
Yeah, well, I mean, in theory, the shorter the implement, the less speed you're going to create. The less speed you're going to create, potentially the flight can come down. So maybe you're looking for a stronger ball flight. He has counteracted that with essentially a heavier shaft than you might normally see in 3-wood. So a lot of people who go 6x in drive would go 7x in 3-wood. He's skipped one and he's gone 8x in the 3-wood, which funnily enough, kind of the spec I'm going to build that 3 with too. Remember my new Rocket QI10?
Your new Rocket.
So yeah, just interesting that and it's not, we're not talking quarter of an inch, we're talking 3/4 of an inch. It's a good bit shorter. Swing weight D4, grip throughout all of these, the multi-compound white and black 60 core ribbed grips, which isn't an Align rib or an Align Max. It's just the sort of hidden rib that sits underneath. He went away from that for a little while, tried some round grips, felt he lost a bit of face awareness, back to his ribs with 2 layers of tape. 5 wood's very similar, QI4D core again. Finish loft of this is 16.5, so it's more of a 4 wood really. A 5 would generally be 18, 19 really.
Okay, that's interesting. So when you see him pumping it out there with a 5, I know he's long already, but it's a strong 5 wood.
But it's pretty tight there in between 14 and 16.5. Little 2.5 degree gap feels quite tight, but again, he's short in that. He's 41.5 cut length, 3/4 of an inch shorter than TaylorMade standard. So he obviously has his gapping where he wants it to be there. Ventus Black 9X, I think. I've seen a few people saying TaylorMade website says 8, but I'm pretty confident he's in the 9X in 5 from what I can remember and what I've seen. Again, D4, same grip, same tapes, and then into his irons. This is where things have changed a little bit.
Yes, big change this year.
One similar, so that P764 iron, which has been in there for yonks, which he seems to love, which is absolutely battered.
I love Club Chatter.
Oh, he's got some jatter on there.
Can I just say that?
Yeah?
Yeah. Reese, friend of the pod, has got some Wilson staff blades. They've just got loads of little nicks on them, and I just think they look the dogs.
You like, you're a man who embraces imperfections, aren't you?
It's called wabi-sabi. Wabi-sabi in Japanese. You admire the imperfections in things.
Okay, so what we get on well?
I admire all of your many imperfections.
The whole thing. Project X 7.0 shaft, heavy, stout.
He's
meaty.
a heavy big boy.
He's a strong little sausage, isn't he?
He's only a little guy as well.
He is, but he's strong as an ox and swings it like an animal. 5 to 9. This is where he's had his change.
Yes.
So everyone will know he's been out of those Rors Protos and he's into the P7 CBs. I wonder whether this will be long term.
Go on.
Just because he hasn't started the season as well as he normally does. As we all know, he usually comes out in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, wherever. Is it Abu Dhabi they play as well? I can't remember. Qatar, all those sort of early Middle East events, and just hoses up all over the place.
Gets his cash and his points on the DP World Tour and then F's off the
wins the
PGA
Order
Tour
of Merit in the first 3 events of the year
Yeah.
and just cannons on. Not happened. He's had some disappointing results, and I'm not saying it's the irons' fault at all.
It is a big change for him,
but
though.
it is quite a big change. And since, like I said, the first time I saw or met Rory was, I think he was 13, 14, and we were playing in the European Stroke Play Championships in Belgium. And he was this little 13-year-old chubby little curly-haired dude on the refreshing the hotel computer in the lobby because he was looking for some golf scores from either the PGA Tour or something like that, just obsessed. And even then he had shiny little blades, and then he went to Titleist blades, then he went to his Nike blades, then he's been in his Rors Protos.
Blade till he dies.
Blade. So it's really weird to see it not in a blade. And I've seen all the social media pile-on of, oh, listen, guys, you should not be playing blades. Look at this guy. If Rory McIlroy, one of the greatest players of all time, isn't playing blades, and who do you think you are playing blades? We need help. We need this. And it's a really easy thing to say that. But I think that's doing a disservice to a lot of good ball strikers who like the workability, like the feedback, and the joy of hitting blades. So
the joy of blades.
There is a joy in that. But I'm talking out of two sides of my mouth here because, you know, I feel about the putting element of blades versus mullets. So who can really listen to anything I say? But I was thinking this. What do you reckon about, they released that, the Rors Proto in that limited edition, super expensive commemorative batch for his Grand Slam thing, and everyone's going, oh, I can't wait to get these. I'm going to have the irons that Rory's had, spent all that money, and within 2 months, he's not out.
But he won the Grand Slam with them.
You think that's
game
cool?
over? Yeah, I honestly think that it's like, whatever, he's changed, but I bought these the year he won the Grand Slam,
all right,
and those are the irons he used.
So
that was a terrible point.
He's up to. Well, it just made me think, if I'd have bought them, and I'd have been thinking, oh, I'm cool, I got Rory's irons, and then all of a sudden every event I watch, he's not in them.
Can I say something about people who buy those sort of commemorative, really expensive irons.
I think it's best you don't. P7CB's 5 to 9 iron. Like I say, will that be permanent? Will it not? What he said was he felt that he was hitting some, particularly in his mid irons, hitting some shots slightly off the bottom or slightly away from the middle, and was seeing them come up 10 yards short, 12 yards short. Whereas when he felt he was getting a bit more assistance, this has been said so far. Watch this space.
Well, why doesn't he maybe go 5, 6, 7?
Yeah,
8.
and then combo it from there.
Baby. Yeah, why don't you do that, or 5, 6? I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
Or maybe
maybe
he's just not playing that well at the minute.
He also mentioned that he liked the way the soles of these went through the turf better down in Australia. I just think this, honestly, my hunch here, this will be a developing situation, and I wouldn't be surprised seeing him back in his Rors Protos.
Go on, give me a date.
When's the next time he's playing? I don't know. Give me
Masters.
I reckon he'd give it 2 more weeks of playing.
What?
2 more tournaments whenever he's in the tournament, and if it hasn't,
that might have happened by the time this comes
and
out.
if it hasn't picked
funny.
up, I have a hunch he might be back in those Rors Protos. But you know,
so at least by the Masters then.
Potentially. I'm not saying he will.
I need definitive statements.
He will be back in his Rors Protos by the Masters.
Hyperbole, drama. We need it all, man.
Inject it. Project X 7.0 again because he's an animal. Wedges. TaylorMade's best wedges ever. The Mill Grind 5. In a tour only raw. You know, I don't love you can only get this on tour stuff, but you can get the raw faces at retail. He's in 46 degrees, so he's a specialist pitching wedge guy. In the standard bounce, 50 degrees in the standard bounce, 54 degrees in the standard bounce, and those are in the Project X 6.5, so he goes a little bit softer. And then the MG5, in his lob wedge, he goes for a low bounce.
Coup for TaylorMade and proof, I think, that these are their best wedges. They've got him out of a Vokey, a Wedgeworks lob wedge that he had in there not that long ago.
He did indeed.
He's all TaylorMade wedges. I can't think of when he's been all TaylorMade wedges before.
Yeah, and I think we're probably at the point now where the most amount of brands have got the highest amount of coverage they've ever had. So there was historically, most brands would always have a little bit of a weakness in their arsenal, and wedges would have always been one of TaylorMade's. Putters, previous to the Spider lineup, was another one. Now all of a sudden, every man and his dog's in a Spider. Yeah. And there's actually a lot of non-contracted. I've seen a few non-contracted players in MG5, which would normally be just default Vokey, still Vokey heavy, but there are a few people who aren't being paid just to play. So it's showing the quality there of that. Putter, he's been in that same Spider Tour X for a while now, and if that doesn't show another one of my points to be correct, which I like doing on here, because no one can. Good about a podcast because no one can live dispute what you're saying, so I can get it all out, nail it down. With
no one
fact.
rebutting you there and there.
Nothing.
And just let them pile in the comments.
Absolutely, that's
and then
fine.
You come back and argue with them like
block,
EDR performance.
Delete, block,
wrong,
start an argument, whatever. But he was
rage basing people.
So if we're talking about areas of the bag that manufacturers had weaknesses in, areas of Rory's game that was previously not necessarily an Achilles heel, but it was a weakness comparative to everything else, was his putting.
Yeah.
So obviously the work he's done with Brad Faxon and everything, I'm sure that's the main influence here. But the fact that he's picked a putter and been in that putter for several years now has transformed him from a mediocre to poor putter on tour to, I think over the past, I saw a stat, I'm sure it was over the past 3 to 5 years, he's in the top 3 in the world of putting consistently. And
9th last year.
Okay, so but over that longer sample size, over a 5-year period, I think he's been a top 3 putter in the world. If you look at that as something like that, and from a real Achilles heel and a real weakness, the value of learning a golf club, particularly a putter, something like that, that's so feel orientated, that's so you've got to get in the minutiae of. I say it a million times: how many putters, really great putters in the game, do you see that are going through lots of different putters? Those are people that are searching.
Morikawa's gone into a Spider as well. Talking Spider, but I'm saying it backs up both points. He's a searcher and he needs to get his S together. Also, when he's searching for a Spider X. Koepka searched, ended up in a Spider.
Correct.
But that's right or wrong. That's beside the point.
Ball TP5. So we all know the story about TP5 X to the TP5. That's what he's in. That's what is updated. What's in the bag.
Thanks, Joe.
I'm interested to see how he goes this year.
Yeah, purely from when the adrenaline leaves your system.
After the Lord Mayor's show.
what's going on? He's done it.
He's done it.
He's done it all. And like, what now is dragging him out of bed where he could be hanging out of his...
I hope it's Scheffler. I hope he's got to be in his bonnet.
Physically dragging him out of his bed. Come on, Rory.
Yeah.
Let's go play golf.
Well, Rory put Scheffler in that spider putter. Rory essentially...
He did,
do you remember when he called out Riv? He said, he should be
did.
trying to mallet. Did it. And then, well, that was the biggest mistake he ever made.
Record scratch.
Absolutely. So I hope that Rory has that bee in his bonnet and goes, right, Koepka's back here. We've got the same majors, so he could arguably
That's a good shout.
He could
That's
arguably
a carrot. Koepka's a carrot.
A joint greatest golfer of the generation. If that's our metric, I need to separate myself from that.
He does,
also,
by the way, because some people will argue that.
Also, there's a Scotty
They're
Scheffler
wrong.
here who's winning every time he goes out. I want to be the best player.
Equally, I think for the good of golf, I think Baz said this on a tour issue a few weeks ago, Scheffler needs a Rory to stop him running away with it. They need each other. And without each other, the golf becomes quite hard to watch because one runs away. And if one runs away, maybe this one, i.e. Rory, doesn't start being as interested anymore.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. That's our analysis. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Good work, man. And that's it again for another week. Luckily, though, we're back on Monday with Tour Issue, as we always are. You're getting 2 pods a week, you greedy whatsits, for free. That's a lot.
It is a lot
of free content.
It is a lot of free content. You're welcome.
Yeah. Anyway, don't know what's coming up next week because we've not planned it or filmed it. Joe gets to go away now. I don't want you to email me. I don't want you to text me. I don't want you to think about work.
Don't you worry about that, Daniel. Don't you worry about that, son.
As if that was ever going to happen anyway. But Joe's not going away for you because this has all been pre-recorded. And you'll get next Friday's episode like he was never away. Right, then have a great weekend, which I'm not allowed to say anymore because Joe hates you all. Remember when I said, how's everyone's Friday going? And you were like, what?
Not true. Not true at all.
Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend, all of you guys.
We'll see you Monday.
Toodaloo.